Um, so last time I made 3 videos to a recovery process, and it was sort of a runaround of how I dealt with recovery and what I think needs to be done in recovery. But this video is going to be a recovery process and the gaining weight part of recovery, which I believe is pretty much one of the hardest parts of recovery, because in suppressing our weight to such a low weight, it gives us a sense of control in the situation that we're in. So gaining that weight, it just, for me, it felt like um, just just being out of control. I just didn't have any control. That was the way I controlled every situation of my life, was with the eating disorder. When things went haywire all over me, or when somebody said something, or there was a stressful situation, it was just my way of going back to something and say, okay, I can do what I want here. In the rest of the world, in the rest of my life, whatever, it's out of my control. But this is in my control. At least I have this. That sort of mindset. So in gaining the weight back was definitely one of the hardest parts for me, because it was like I didn't have control over anything anymore, and it just made the thoughts and the triggers worse. It made everything worse, and that's why I relapsed. 2 times after recovery, because I wasn't doing it right. I was just doing it for all the wrong reasons, to please people, and that was triggering to me. But I just felt like I had to gain the weight just to gain the weight to please people, as I said. But one of the big things that helped me this past time in recovery was realizing that even if I do gain weight, and even if I stay the same weight, I'm still who I am. The world has not ended. And it comes to thinking big like that. It comes to thinking that, it's not going to all be over just because I gained 20 pounds that I needed to gain to be healthy physically again. Not mentally, but physically again. And it was just one of the things I had to tell myself on a daily basis that I never did the first couple of times, because of for the wrong reasons that I was in recovery. And it was definitely a slow process. It wasn't nothing that I took fast like I did in the past 2 times. I had to definitely refeed my body, and that is a physical pain, because in the refeeding of your body's undergoing immense shock, immense stress. So overloading that is just going to even cause more shock, more stress to your body. And that's why I believe that you have to take it very slow. Upping your calories only is what I did. I started from a certain amount of calories that I was eating in the depths of my anorexia, and I would take that and up it 100 calories every week. Every week I would go up 100, slowly introducing new foods into my life, slowly at a time, telling myself that, like, say, one of the foods that I used to be scared of were nuts, because of the fat content. And as soon as I saw fat, it's just like a no. That's a no food. It has fat in it. But what I had to realize with it was that all fat isn't bad fat, and even bad fat isn't going to hurt you every once in a while. I mean, gaining weight with my anorexia, I didn't blow up, or I didn't get fat all of a sudden. And um, it's not like that at all. If you take it slow and you work with your mind and your body at the same time, and you start telling yourself that, okay, these nuts are in front of me, and I would really have to have a piece of paper down beside me with my meal, and write everything good about the meal. Write how much healthy fat it has in it, the protein, the good carbs, all this other stuff, and just go with the pros of food, and stop thinking so much about the cons. Stop thinking about, whoa, 18 grams of fat, 400 calories, or this and this and this and this, and how this is going to affect my body in a bad way. You have to start looking at how food is going to affect your body in a good way, and the food that's going into your body is really going to show through, and what you do eat, it's going going to show through in a good way. It's going to help your skin. It's going to help heal your body, rebuild your bones. Just immense amount of things that food can do for your body, and you just really have to sit down and just look at the food as nourishment and not so much an enemy anymore, because the food was never the enemy. It was always the eating disorder that was the enemy. And that's kind of where our mind goes back and forth, that we with the eating disorder always telling us that food is bad, when in all reality it's the eating disorder that is the enemy. It's the eating disorder that is keeping us from having a nourished body and mind, and to be able to think clearly. So that's kind of what I had to do to help myself with the food and with gaining weight, and just not weighing myself as much as I used to. I would be on the scale sometimes 10 times a day. I mean, step on, step off, step on, step off, just hoping that it would go down a pound, every time I would step on the scale during my anorexia. And it's just like breaking that scale. You have to get rid of all active triggers, any magazines, just everything. I had to stop watching TV because everything on TV started becoming a trigger. Just seeing all the diet ads and the people obsessed, and I felt like I was going crazy. My mind just was starting to fill with all these things, and the world kind of just was laying heavy on my shoulders during my recovery, because it's such a hard thing to gain the weight back, because you feel like you see everybody else around you um, losing the weight, and you feel like you're the only one gaining the weight. You feel like you're the only one going to get fat, and everybody's against you. But it's not the truth. You have to start seeking the truth and forgetting the lies, and forgetting the lies that this world tells you, because trust me, they tell you a lot of lies. This world does, and it will continually probably go on until the world ends. I mean, nobody ever wakes up and realizes what life is really about. Mm-mm. It's all about superficial things and beauty and glamour and just everything that doesn't last. And you really have to just sit down and figure out what truly lasts. What's the true meaning of life? And then you discover that your life has a big meaning, bigger than everything around you. And your body's just a vessel for that, and you have to take care of yourself. And food, healthy food, none of that, none of that bad and good food. It's just healthy food, but the things that they say bad in moderation. So, but I'm gonna stop here. So I'll make another video sometime. Alright.